in London.
Letting people know the purple's in town.
United Kingdom's taking great care of us. Great field, great setup.
It's gorgeous. I think it's gorgeous out here. We're at a really cool property. The weather is also perfect right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Lots of purple in here early doors, lots of Viking fans. The NFL is back in London. The Vikings come away with the win. Inside and out.
Are you kidding me with that catch, JJ? That's how you stand up. That's how you stand up. And that's the ball game. Touchdown, Vikings.
Look alive, Vikings fans. Vikings Weekly is back after the bye week. I'm your host, Tatum Everett, and the Vikings are set to host the Eagles at US Bank Stadium, the first home game we're having in 5 weeks. Coming up in the show, we sit down with Javon Hargrave, and he opens up about the season so far. We also go into the film room with Kevin O'Connell for the first time this season as he breaks down some of the best plays so far this season. And we'll check in with Josh Metellus and the rest of the locker room with his question of the week. The Vikings ended their international double dip with a 21-17 win over the Browns, which led to an emotional speech by Kevin O'Connell, the head coach putting a bow on the 10-day overseas trip.
Fellas, make no mistake about it. All right, I know how long this trip has been. All right, I know how long it's been. All right, but let me just give you some good news, by the way. Zero sleeps. Yeah. Zero sleeps. What was the third thing that I asked you guys to make sure we were today at the stadium last night? All right? You don't win a game like that. All right? You don't win a game like that unless you are a very, very connected football team. There were moments where if you weren't, it would fracture. There were moments where if you weren't all in, no matter what the previous play was like, no matter who had to step into the game, it was just next play, regardless of offense, defense, and special teams. And I'm so proud of it, because what you proved today can last an entire season. All right, it can last an entire season to have that feeling. All right, that feeling. And when you got pushed up against the wall, nobody flinched. Because there wasn't 1 second today where I didn't think we were being on that relentless pursuit of going 1-0, regardless of what it looked like. There's 1,000 things we could all do better. But the best news is we are at the bye. All right, we got the 1-0 that we so desperately, relentlessly needed. All right, give it up for yourselves real quick. Family on three! Family on three! 1, 2, 3, family!
The Vikings hope to capitalize off that momentum from the Browns win. Up next, the Philadelphia Eagles. It's actually the second time this season that defensive lineman Javon Hargrave is taking on a team he previously played for. In this week's Game Day Live interview, he told me he doesn't need much motivation for Sunday's game. You played alongside some great defensive linemen. What do you like about teaming up with Jonathan Allen?
He brings a lot to the game, and he's one of the vocal leaders in our room.
We don't have expectations, we have standards, and that's when we put hands on people. Know that.
And just kind of tell us things he see and things he done been through, and like he done played Philly 100 times, so just being able to give some of his vet leadership just been a lot for everybody.
Bring up Philly, that's next on the schedule.
Second down, Brown, end zone, he's got it for the touchdown.
What is he telling you guys about what you're going to face in that talented offense?
He funny talk about the tush push a lot.
Hot topic.
Yeah, because he done definitely been on the other side, being on that side a lot.
Okay, but people want to know, though, like, that play is difficult, and they ran it 4 times in a row recently. Like, how do you prepare for this type of play?
It's just funny because when I was on that side playing with him, I love to play. But, of course, I'm with everybody else. I kind of hate to play. I I mean, I think the only way you really can stop it is just don't let them get down there. So we're just trying to talk about them things.
Jalen Hurts, a very dynamic quarterback. The Vikings currently blitz second the most in the NFL, but he does well against pressure. How do you handle that going into a matchup like this?
And we just all got to be one with great communication. We know if he get out that pocket, he's Superman out there. So we kind of got to work as a unit to try to keep him in that pocket and don't let them be able to make a lot of plays.
And you get to play them at US Bank Stadium, which I know you love that atmosphere. It was something that you were excited.
I do.
How has it been now being on the right side of things, on the Skull Chant side of things?
Man, I be waiting for it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be on this sideline. I told with all my parents love it, my friends love it. But I just love that feeling of, doing a pledge and doing your prayer and just hearing that and knowing it's game time now.
How much of an advantage is it, do you think?
Oh, yeah, the crowd noise is it's definitely an advantage. I mean, everybody got to go on silent count. I've never been to a place where it's always going to be silent count. Like, every game, they're going to have to go on silent count.
The Vikings currently own the longest active streak of multiple sacks in a game with 9 straight. And the pressure quarterbacks feel from guys like Javon Hargrave and the rest of the defensive line allows for other players in the defense to have some big moments. Head coach Kevin O'Connell dusted off the old Microsoft Surface and joined Vikings radio analyst Pete Bursich in the film room to dissect some of those big plays so far this season.
So everybody obviously remembers this play, critical play early on in the game. Isaiah Rodgers, the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. It was awesome to see him make this play, and it's going to be fun to watch the totality of this happen here, Pete. But I wanted to highlight Harrison Smith, and there he is right there. He's going to be the igniter of all this. All right, not only do we end up getting some legitimate pressure on the quarterback, Levi Drake Rodriguez, getting him off the spot, making him move his feet, but watch Harry right here. You're gonna see him, we've got him highlighted right there, underneath coverage, matching his defender, just able to just get that ball redirected right to Isaiah Rodgers. We talk about tips and overthrows a lot. And then I want to make note of Jonathan Grenard right there screaming down the sidelines like a tight end leading a wide zone down the field. And when this guy gets the ball in space, you can probably count the amount of players in the league that can catch Isaiah Rodgers when he gets cooking. So let's take a look at it. So watch Harry dropping down like only Harrison Smith can. And then just the reaction ever so subtly after Levi, just to get that little tip, throw that ball into kind of right into Isaiah's lap, and then down the sideline we go. You see Brian Flores is so excited. But as we get into this, you're going to see a lot to like about our sideline. And I'm not going to be one of those things, but I can tell you, take a look at the joy. All right, there's very few times as the head coach right there, you get the joy of seeing your fastest player maybe on your team running down the sideline, Jonathan Grenard leading them out in front. Take a look at this right here. You're going to see Joe Distor, our strength coach. Watch the discipline to keep everybody back. And really what he's doing, he's clearing my path so I can make it, as you know, Pete, I like to make it about me. I'm running right down. Look at him clearing, getting people back. Coach. I'm running at a much slower pace. You see Max Brosmer, the former Gopher, right over J.J. McCarthy's shoulder right there. If Vikings fans are ever wondering who this is right here, he's normally the hype guy. That's Tony Sorrentino, our assistant receiver coach. But down the sideline we go, and the feeling of knowing that's going to be 7 points right there was pretty darn exciting by what an impact Isaiah Rodgers has had on our team.
It's a proud papa moment when for a coach to see his player, any one of them. It could be like any one of your kids go out there and do something like that.
You can find that entire episode of Film Room with Kevin O'Connell on Vikings.com or the Vikings app, including him breaking down the first touchdown of the season between J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson. Well, let's have a little fun here on Vikings Weekly before we head to the break. Josh Metellus, in the latest episode of Tell Us with Metellus, asks a pretty controversial question. How do you like your steak? I'm a medium rare girly myself. I was a little shocked with some of these answers.
Medium. And if you like it more done than that, there's a problem.
What's up? It's your boy Tell Us with Metellus. Today, we're going to ask my teammates to tell us how do they like their steak. It's presented by US Bank.
I'm going to go medium rare plus. So it's like medium rare, but like a little bit more cooked, and you get a better sear on it than a regular medium rare.
Medium rare, that's like pink.
Yeah.
I don't want that. That's not my type.
Bro, it ain't no other way than medium well.
Okay, you know something. You ever been a well done guy?
I was.
I was.
Then I had to.
You had to grow up.
Had to grow up.
You had to grow up. You had to grow up. Hey, you had to. We took Nudie to dinner. The waitress come. What kind of steak you want? That boy said filet. Not filet, right? Filet. Hey, Nudie, how do you like your steak?
Filet, medium well placed.
Medium.
Why you don't want to add that medium well on the end of it?
I feel like that's too cooked.
No.
Medium well, butterfly. Just
Butterfly.
because butterfly. You gotta add the butter too. Just because I don't like really too much pink.
Me neither. That's why we twin. How do you eat your steak?
Medium well.
Medium well, man.
Yeah,
Shout out to the DBs. We the only ones doing it right.
yeah.
How y'all like your steak, man?
Medium.
I like medium, but sometimes I like medium rare. But it's like another one you can do, and that's called medium rare plus, and it's really good.
Very
if I cooked as well as I could eat, I'd be a top chef right now. So
Hey, got an eater.
Medium rare.
Medium what? Say it again.
Medium rare.
Well, medium well. What? You said medium well?
No.
Rare.
Medium rare.
Me, I'm a medium well kind of guy though. You could go medium well plus to mine too. I don't care what you want to do as long as I don't see pink for real.
Still to come on Vikings Weekly, we check in with linebacker Blake Cashman, who is back at practice. We'll hear from the head coach about the matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles in this week's X's and O's. Plus, we take your fan questions into the locker room. Stay tuned. Welcome back into Vikings Weekly. That was the Purple Pixels version of the Vikings game-winning touchdown in London to help improve their record to 3-2. Now they face the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, and they hope to do so with linebacker Blake Cashman, whose practice window opened up after he was on the injured reserve list since the Bears game where he suffered a hamstring injury.
I feel great. You know, the trainers, the whole strength staff, performance staff, they did a wonderful job. You know, this is something I'm familiar with. You know, it's been a while, but, you know, it was really important to get with them the first day and kind of go over a plan for the past month to, you know, make sure my health is straight, and I got the hammy's bulletproof, so I can go out there with 110% confidence and go play to my best of my abilities.
You said you've been through this before. I mean, what's the frustration level that you had to navigate so many injuries?
You know, it's no matter if it's, you know, 1 week or 4 weeks, it's always frustrating to be on the sidelines because, you know, we put a lot of time and effort into this game as players. So to not be able to, you know, reap the benefits or the rewards of playing out there on Sundays, it hurts the soul a little bit. But, you know, that's where you got to understand, you know, you just got to get healthy and stay resilient and be patient through the process.
Yeah, Cash is, you know, an important part of, you know, our defense. You know, we're still kind of taking this day to day with him. I know we opened the window the other day, so we'll see how we you know, we go moving forward throughout the week. But yeah, he's a big part of what we do defensively from a communication standpoint, from just an athleticism, football acumen, getting other guys in the right positions, leadership. He does a great job. You know, can't wait for him to get back, but also not gonna, you know, gonna take this day to day and see how he's feeling over the course of this week, and see if we open the window.
Cashman is one of several players who have suffered from injury in the first 5 weeks of the season. However, head coach Kevin O'Connell is impressed by his team's ability to face adversity head on. He opened up about that, as well as how he's going to make the decision who will be starting at quarterback in this week's episode of X's and O's.
14 offensive line combinations, 2 quarterbacks, no showtime for a fair amount of it. Aaron Jones, no Gink or Cashman for several of them, and a winning record. Up into the bye. Now you got the final 12. What has held this group together through everything we just mentioned?
Yeah, I think it's like dealing with adversity is things that you build your culture for. It's not to have really fun post games when you win and everything's going your way. It's to handle the moments that require the type of emotional and physical and all the commitment that goes into it. And Nordo just said it, being at your best when it's required. The saying is not being at your best when it's easiest to be at your best. Those are what teams that tend to be a little bit more front-running do in this league. And there's examples of teams that overcome adversity time and time again, and they do it with what has been built long before you ever get in those moments. And I know for fans out there, they probably scratch their head and what the heck is he talking about? But I can promise you it's a real thing. And you know, winning in the NFL can be very difficult. Even when you're totally 100% healthy, a lot of things you have to go out and do well to win football games. And when you're not, that doesn't mean you get any kind of excuse to, you know, you can mention all those names and O-line combinations and you can mention it all. But to me, the only thing that matters is we're 3-2. And what did we do in those 2 games to not find success, regardless of the injuries? What things can we coach better? What things can I do to lead our team better? And how does this team need to play week in and week out against the opponents we're going to play against? That can change sometimes. You might have to play different styles of games to find yourself in the win column again and again and again. And that's what we've made it a habit of trying to do around here. And habits can be a powerful thing when you do it the right way. And I'm so excited to go to work with this team. And as we get these guys back, and you know, we have the ability to continue to forge ahead and get stronger and stronger and stronger throughout the season, which has always been the goal, PA, is to be playing our best football in the latter half of the season. But that doesn't mean you can allow the games to slip away from you early on in the season, because then the end of the season won't matter. So we've got to continue to literally attack every single opportunity, whether it's tomorrow's practice, the game on Sunday, a short week next week. It's all opportunity to me for us all to go figure it out together and go win games.
What with J.J. McCarthy, what are you hoping to do this week?
Yeah, it really started last week because we were able to get some really good work in. I felt like it was my a time for JJ, myself, Josh, we went out there and just really, you know, breaking a lot of things down to core principles of playing the position, and then repping things and drilling things and figuring out where he was still, what was causing him to maybe still feel that ankle, you know, more oftentimes than other things that he was doing. And we were able to kind of really try to use that as part rehab, part you know, getting that football acclimation back going. Because it's been, I said this yesterday, and I think I caught people by surprise a little bit, but he's practiced one time since he played the Bears on Monday night, which feels like it was seasons ago at this point. And
bunch of sleeps.
So there's just there's just a lot of time on task of the muscle memory of our offense and playing the position that we're trying to make up for that time lost. And he'll get a great opportunity this week to, you know, get back into the team reps and start, you know, getting himself to a place where we know he's going to go out and play well. It's not just getting him back and throwing him back out there as much as it is getting him to a place. And that could be, PA, that could be this week. That could be something where a lot of things go in a direction where it leads that way. I'm not trying to, there's no, you know, mystery here, cloak and dagger, subterfuge. Like, it's really not that. I hope people understand it's a little bit more real than that. It's a little bit more, you know, me trying to do what's best for our team, but also this player is very important and important to me, and I feel obligated to make sure I always am doing the things to help him stay on the path to where we think he's going as a player and why we brought him here.
You can find that entire episode on Vikings.com or the Vikings app. Now it's time to turn the show over to the fans. We ask your questions to some of the players in the locker room. First question is from Michael. After self-scouting during the bye week, what needs to happen to elevate the team's performance? Veteran tight end TJ Hawkinson answers this one.
A connectiveness in this locker room, the guys, you know, hanging out with each other. We had a great trip together, and, you know, just continuing building that and building this culture. I think, you know, the sky's the limit for this locker room.
Up next, this one is from Ben. How do you prepare mentally to face a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, especially knowing how dynamic he can be under pressure? We found pass rush specialist Jonathan Grenard for this one.
Man, he's a dog. Super Bowl winner, obviously. I mean, People don't think he's super fast, but he can really strike off like 50 yards if he wants to and still throw it a mile. But yeah, I think we just got to be a little disciplined in pass rush and then try to just make him uncomfortable as possible.
And finally, this one is from Cody. What are your emotions like returning to US Bank Stadium for the first time in 5 weeks? And also facing your former team. Isaiah Rodgers, you got this one.
Ready to go out there in front of the fans at US Bank Stadium and, repeat the last home game that we had.
I, for one, can also not wait to be back at US Bank Stadium. More on that in a second. But first, earlier this season, the Vikings teamed up with the Children's Cancer Research Fund to host 5 families whose lives have changed with the help of cancer research. We caught up with one family, the Crossers, who shared more about this great cause and organization.
So Wyatt was diagnosed in 2018 with high-risk neuroblastoma, and he went through 18 months of treatment. So he had chemotherapy, radiation, immunotherapy, and then following that, we did a vaccine trial. Children's Cancer Research Fund, we met them when Wyatt was still at Children's Minneapolis, his 4th round of chemo. And their project where they come in and do music. And so Wyatt made a song and made a video with the song. You realize how important hope is when you are in the hospital, and things like that give you hope to get through stuff and see that your child can still enjoy doing stuff and still be a kid. To see Wyatt be tall and strong and just a healthy kid enjoying his time is amazing. And really, it's research that brought us to this point.
I'm really thankful. I get to do normal kid stuff. It's it hasn't affected me at all. Barely. I get to just do normal stuff. It's really important, and I'm thankful that I'm here. And this is my first Viking games too.
He is evidence physically and everything of what research can do for kids with cancer. People that care and raise funds and do research, and groups like Children's Cancer Research Fund is what is making the impact in kids like Wyatt. And I don't know where we'd be without that.
It's finally that time. The Vikings are back at US Bank Stadium where they take on the Eagles. It's also our crucial catch game where we recognize, honor, and remember those affected by cancer. Kickoff is set for noon on Fox. Skol Vikings as they hope to improve to 4-2.